You wake to a smell that shouldn't exist inside your apartment. Burnt plastic. Bitter. Wrong. For a moment, the room is silent. Then the smoke alarm erupts down the hallway, sharp and metallic, bouncing through the walls like an emergency siren trapped indoors. When you open your bedroom door, the corridor is already changing. A low gray haze slides along the ceiling, thickening by the second. The air feels warmer than it should, heavier. You take one breath, then another. The second one makes you cough. Your eyes begin to sting. In most residential fires, the flames aren't what kill people. It's the smoke. Your brain moves faster than the facts. Find water, find tile, find a door you can close. The bathroom is only a few steps away. Tile walls, running water. One small room you can seal. It feels controlled, protected, logical. But in an apartment fire, sealing yourself inside the smallest room doesn't always keep the danger out. Sometimes it concentrates it. And the bathroom you just closed behind you may already be turning into something else. A gas chamber. The instinct feels logical. But in an apartment fire, what moves through the building isn't just visible smoke. It's a drifting mix of hot gases, carbon monoxide, thinning oxygen, fine soot, quietly pushed through hallways, vents, and hidden shafts by pressure you never see. And once that air enters a sealed room, it doesn't just pass through. It begins to collect. When people imagine dying in a fire, they imagine flames entering the room, walls burning, heat closing in. But inside most buildings, the first real threat isn't the fire itself. It's the atmosphere the fire creates. As furniture, wiring, plastics, and insulation burn, they release a thick mixture of gases and microscopic particles. One of the most dangerous is carbon monoxide. It slips into your bloodstream through the lungs and binds to hemoglobin far more easily than oxygen does. Your blood is still moving, but it's carrying less oxygen to the brain. At the same time, other combustion gases and soot make breathing harder, forcing the body to work against air that is steadily becoming less useful. The change is subtle at first. A slight headache, slower reactions, a breath that doesn't feel satisfying. And inside an apartment building, that altered air rarely stays in one place. It drifts, along ceilings, through vents, under doors, looking for somewhere to settle. To understand why a bathroom can become dangerous during a fire, you have to understand how smoke actually moves through a building. Fire changes the behavior of air. As materials burn, the surrounding air heats and expands. Hot gases become lighter, so they rise, pulling cooler air behind them. That movement creates pressure differences through hallways, stairwells, and ventilation shafts. And pressure moves smoke, not just through open doors, through cracks, through vents, through spaces inside the walls you never see. Many apartment bathrooms connect to vertical exhaust ducts and plumbing shafts that run floor to floor. Under fire conditions, those narrow channels can begin acting like chimneys, carrying smoke and hot gases through the building faster than most people expect. At the same time, the air itself is changing. Fresh oxygen is gradually displaced by smoke and combustion gases like carbon monoxide. The room may not look dramatically different, but each breath carries slightly less usable oxygen. Here's the paradox. Closing a door can slow flames. But it does not stop pressure, and pressure keeps moving the atmosphere of the fire through the building, searching for quiet spaces where air is trapped. Small rooms create exactly that condition. Air enters, and it struggles to leave. The most dangerous mistake often happens in the first 30 seconds. You choose to hide, instead of leaving. In many apartment fires, there is a short window when hallways are still passable and stairwells still contain breathable air. Smoke may already be leaking into the building, but it hasn't fully filled the escape routes yet. That window closes fast. When people run into the bathroom and shut the door, they often miss the moment when evacuation was still possible. By the time the air inside the apartment becomes difficult to breathe, the corridor outside may already be worse. The safest decision in most apartment fires is simple. If the exit path is still visible and the air is still breathable, leave immediately. Because once smoke fills the building, every room starts losing the same thing: time. When smoke begins leaking under the door, many people do the same thing. They seal the bathroom, a towel against the gap, the door locked, and the exhaust fan switched on. It feels logical. Pull the smoke out. But most bathroom fans don't vent directly into open air the way people imagine. They connect to shared ducts that run through the building. And when the fan turns on, something else happens. The room begins pulling air inward. Engineers call it negative pressure. The fan becomes a small vacuum. Air rushes toward the room, from the hallway, from wall cavities, from the ventilation shaft itself. And if that air contains smoke, carbon monoxide, and combustion gases, the fan may start pulling it inside faster than it would have entered on its own. The room doesn't clear, it fills. Another instinct pushes people toward the bathroom. Control the space. A smaller room feels easier to manage, easier to seal, easier to survive in while waiting for help. But small rooms change how air behaves during a fire. Every enclosed space contains a limited volume of breathable air. When smoke begins entering that space, through vents, gaps, or pressure flow, it doesn't just bring toxic gases like carbon monoxide. It also displaces the oxygen already in the room. And in a small room, that shift happens faster. Each breath contains slightly less usable oxygen than the one before it. Your body reacts quietly at first. A dull headache, slower thinking, a breath that never feels complete. The room still looks safe, but the air inside it is steadily becoming something your body cannot use. There is another trap hidden in the bathroom decision: time. Imagine someone on the 7th floor of an apartment building. The smoke alarm sounds. The hallway outside the unit is still visible, just slightly hazy. The stairwell door is only a few meters away, but the instinct says to hide first. So the bathroom door closes. Minutes pass. Inside the apartment, the air begins to feel thicker. When the person finally opens the bathroom door again, the hallway has changed. Smoke has collected along the ceiling and pushed downward, turning the corridor into a dim gray tunnel where visibility collapses. The exit that once required 10 seconds now requires moving through toxic air. And hesitation earlier has quietly erased the safest path out of the building. Why do so many people make the same decision? Because fire triggers a very old survival response. The moment alarms sound and smoke appears, the body releases adrenaline and cortisol. Heart rate climbs, breathing accelerates. The brain stops scanning for complex solutions and starts searching for the fastest form of shelter. Somewhere close, somewhere contained. In most apartments, the bathroom is the nearest room that feels defensible. One door, hard surfaces, running water. Under stress, the brain reads those signals as protection. But panic simplifies decisions in dangerous ways. It favors immediate comfort over long-term survival. And decades of movies and television reinforce the same image. Characters hiding in bathrooms while fires rage outside. The instinct feels familiar, but fires inside modern buildings don't behave like scenes written for film. And panic has a quiet habit of guiding people toward the room that feels safest. Not the one that actually is. Once toxic smoke begins changing the air you breathe, the body starts losing small abilities first. Thinking slows. Simple decisions take longer. Carbon monoxide quietly interferes with oxygen delivery to the brain, and the result often begins with subtle confusion. People misjudge distances. They underestimate how quickly the air is worsening. Then coordination begins to fade. Hands feel clumsy. Balance shifts. Vision narrows. At this stage, the most dangerous change is not physical. It's cognitive. Because the moment you most need to make a clear decision, move, escape, signal for help, your brain may already be losing the ability to recognize how urgent that decision has become. Apartment fires rarely kill with flames first. They change the air. Smoke moves through pressure, shafts, and cracks you never notice in daily life. It spreads through buildings quietly, long before the fire reaches your door. And once that atmosphere begins filling enclosed spaces, survival becomes a race against the air itself. The bathroom may feel protected, but small sealed rooms can change how that air behaves, sometimes concentrating it. The principle is simple. In a fire, you are not escaping flames. You are escaping the atmosphere the fire creates. If this warning reached you today, share it. Someone else may still believe the bathroom is the safest place to hide. And ask yourself one question. When the alarm sounds in the middle of the night, What will your first instinct tell you to do?